Hello, I'm Shannon Mouton Gray, Managing Director at McKinney Associates, and welcome to our last Tips in 20 for 2015. We will be back in a few weeks for brand new Tips in 20 in 2016, but we'll get to that then. Now it's still 2015, so let me get back to my script. So here at McKinney Associates, we know that it doesn't take a lot to help people do and be better, and it definitely doesn't take a lot of time. So we're here to help you and bring practical information that you can use in 20 minutes or less, hence the hashtag Tips in 20. So let's get started. I want to give a quick shout out to my man Ron behind the scenes making it happen. What up, Ron?
Hey, Shannon.
And I want to welcome a new addition to our team, Bria the intern. She's serving as our production assistant for the webinar series. Hey, Bria.
Everybody.
With today's webinar, 12 Days of Resume Writing, ho, 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 it's Christmas time. I'll share tips for putting your best resume forward. Let's start with the basics. What is a resume and why do you need one? And let me be clear here, why do you need a good one? The dictionary says a resume is a brief, did you notice that? Brief account of your education, qualifications, and previous work experience. I'm going to add skills here. So your resume is a brief account of your education, qualification, skills, and previous work experience. It is not your autobiography, people. As we head into 2016, I want you to think of your resume as a marketing tool, your personal marketing tool. You use it to market yourself to potential employers. It speaks for you when you are not there to speak for yourself. The goal of your resume is quite simple. It's to get you the interview. It's the door opener. A good resume provides me as your potential employer with relevant information in a clear and concise, and brief manner about why we should consider hiring you. Now, let me say this. This is going to sound a little counterintuitive. Your resume really ain't about you. It's about how you can help me, help you by helping me hire you. Did you catch that? Really, a resume illustrates the values and benefits that I will get from hiring you. Remember, your resume is your marketing tool. It's a marketing tool, and that's what we want to focus on. So let's get started with our 12 points. Ho, ho, ho. For those of you who've read my many rants on Twitter and Facebook, you know how I feel about this particular point. I cannot stress it enough. You must have your resume proofread, period, end of story, no exceptions. And don't let your BFF, your boo, your roommate, or your spouse do it. Have a professional do it. Let them do the proofreading and the editing for you. If you have to pay, then get off the dime and pay. Your resume is too important to let it just glide by. It'll pay off in the long run. Yeah, folks, spell check is not the end-all be-all of document checking. First, it will overlook correctly spelled words because, they're spelled correctly. So you really want to have it proofread. Also, you want to be sure and double check the words like you and your, notice our title, to, and two, and there, and there. They're all different, they all have different meanings, and they all need to be used properly. All of these, though, will also be missed by spell check and caught by me. Second, it won't pick up the numerical date that you have in your first job description or the written out date that you have in the second job. And finally, and most certainly, spell check won't catch your mistakes in tense, voice, and punctuation. And I found all those mistakes in resumes. And let me say one more again for the cheap seats. Have your resume, what, Bria?
Reviewed.
By a professional. You got it. Nix it from your resume, folks. Cut it, slice it, dice it, get rid of it. If I've said it once, I'll say it again. Cut it, slice it, dice it, get rid of it. This is what all objectives say. Seeking a challenging position that offers professional growth, blah, 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 blah. Duh, it's your resume, people. Of course you're seeking a position. Tell me something I don't know about you. Instead, use that valuable resume real estate to grab my attention with some skills, competencies, or accomplishments. Now we're getting into something that's near and dear to my heart as a geek diva. If you list social media as a skill or past experience, you need to list more than experience with Facebook and Twitter. More than Facebook and Twitter. And right after you list those things, the next thing I need to read are numbers. I want to see conversions, sales, clicks, reach, visitors, engagement, impressions, and so on. Data tells me that your social media skills could be strong and that your social media strategy may have worked. Remember, your resume is your marketing tool. I'm looking for education, qualification, and skills, and past experience. This will help me determine how you can help our organization. And while I'm talking about social media, let me stay here for a minute. Please do yourself a favor. Don't call yourself a social media guru, czar, maven, rock star, and whatever other name you can think of if you haven't tweeted or posted anything original and professionally relevant in the last 2 to 3 weeks. You don't have to have 1 million followers. You do need to be participating in online conversations on a regular basis, though. I'd rather see you use one platform consistently and really well and have not a lot of accounts in any other place versus having a lot of social media accounts spread all over the universe and that are rarely updated and are rarely used. Yeah, and in case you didn't know it, when you send us your resume, we Google you. We look at your Twitter stream, your Facebook timeline, your Instagram pics, LinkedIn page, YouTube channel, and whatever else you have out there. You've put it out there for people to see, so we go look. Repeat after me, folks. You know how I like audience participation. Keep it simple, sweetie.
Sweetheart.
Thank you, Bria. Resume fonts have to be legible and large enough for people to read without squinting. Trust me, font size and type treatments are not design elements. Once I received a resume that was entirely in italics. It met the vertical file with a quickness, and I have no idea whether the person was qualified or not because I couldn't read the resume. Keep your design simple. In the same vein of design, I'm also not a fan of photos on professional resumes. Regretfully, in this day and age, it can unknowingly feed into a recruiter's biases if we know your gender, race, or ethnicity before we even look at your education, qualification, skills, and work experience. People, be very clear. The second you say that you, quote, pay close attention to details, end quote, or that you tout, I'm detail-oriented, I'm on the hunt for an inconsistency, and you can best believe 9 out of 10 times I find one. Now your one error has become 2, and your resume hits what, Bria?
The vertical file.
You got it.
With the quickness.
In the same vein as design, you want to keep the language plain and simple too. We can read through the bull, and worse, it's irksome, people. This was actually on a resume that came across my desk. Quote, coordinator versed in coordinating management meetings, end quote. If you know what that means, you tell me. As a resume is your primary marketing tool, it really needs to scream your accomplishments and good work. A resume is not the place to be humble, modest, or deferential. If you can do it, whatever it is, then say it loud and proud. Remember, your resume has to get past me to the person who's going to do the phone screen, and then to the next person who's going to do the in-person interview. What does your resume say about you that makes you stand out from the crowd? Yeah, people, remember when I said what a definition of a resume was? Brief. Keep that in mind. You can have a multi-page bio on your hard drive that you keep, and that's cool. It can have everything you've ever done and every accomplishment you've ever had on it. That's good. When it comes time to apply for a position though, and you send me your resume, cut it. Cut all the irrelevant stuff that doesn't matter, that doesn't apply to the job that you want. You want to send a specific company and position specific resume. I want to know how good you will be in this position, not every communications position you're applying for. Yeah, in terms of extraneous information, folks, your GPA is a waste of space. Unless you graduated magna cum laude or summa cum laude, it doesn't matter. A 3-point something doesn't impress me, and it's only going to make me wonder why you didn't get the 4-point something. What matters is that you went to school and that you graduated. In that same vein of extraneous information, and I know this is tough for recent graduates. You have little to no work experience, so you add your school activities to take up space on the resume. You want to demonstrate leadership, teamwork, collaboration, and so on and so forth. And I get that, and I truly am sympathetic to that. However, if your activities are so far removed from the position that you're applying for, that you expect me to extrapolate the skill alignment, then don't put it on there. I'm not going to take that mental leap. I don't have the time. Your resume isn't going to be in front of me long enough for me to do that. And while I'm on this, let me just stay here for a second and let me use McKinney as an example. McKinney Associates, as you know, is a strategic communications firm. We've practiced public relations with a conscience for more than 25 years. The key words, communications firm. That is who we are. That is what we do. If you wrote for your school paper, or you've written for a website, or you have a blog, or you've done some editing, that's all information I want to know that's relevant to our company and nearly every position description we ever put out there. If you were captain of your swim team, I don't want to know. If you were a cheerleader, I really don't want to know. Those two things are great. That doesn't tell me how you'll be at a communications firm though. Same thing with summer jobs, very similar to school activities. If you were a waiter or a waitress or a camp counselor, again, that's great. I'm glad you have job experience, but unless you can demonstrate skills that are directly relatable to what a communications firm does from those activities or those summer jobs, don't put it on your resume, because I'm not going to take the mental time to make those, to do that extrapolation for you. I'm going to keep repeating this until you get it, folks. Your resume is your primary marketing tool. It is the door opener. It's got to say what you can't say because you're not here. It will have approximately 30 to 45 seconds of my attention, not even an entire minute. I need to know how you will benefit us, the skills you have, your education, and your past experience quickly. And it needs to be on point. In terms of being on point, you really want to focus on your accomplishments. Again, for younger professionals, this is really hard because a lot of times you are part of teams and you are not given direct access to do things that would have accomplishments or things that you've been able to do on your own. And so a lot of times you use the words responsible for. That's nice. I get where you're going. That doesn't tell me what you did. I need to know what you did, what you can do, and how that skill can help me, help you, help me get the position I need filled. So you really want to think about accomplishments and focus on that. And be specific and measurable in the accomplishments that you show. I need to know the value that you're adding to your current employer and how you can add value to me if I bring you on board as well. And finally, our last of the 12 days of Christmas tips. Ho, ho, ho! This one is really interesting. There's a fair lot of back and forth on this one about cover letters. Online especially, there's a lot of debates. Some say yes, do them. Others say no, don't do them. I say if the recruiter wants a cover letter, do a cover letter. If you do one though, it has to be, must be, cannot be anything but absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Your cover letter is the declaration of you. It needs to say what doesn't fit in your resume, what isn't necessarily even appropriate for your resume. I need to get a sense of who you are from the cover letter, and it needs to be more than a regurgitation of your resume. Did I say it needs to be perfect? It needs to be impeccable. As a communications firm, I can say here at McKinney, we use the cover letters as a candidate's first writing test. If there are any grammatical errors, typos, misspellings, marital, martial, there, to, any of that, it goes right to where?
In the vertical file.
Right, with a quickness, and it's done and it's over, and I don't even get to your resume. So really, it needs to be perfect. It's now time for the Q&A portion of the program, so place your tray tables, as always, in an upright position and hand your trash to the attendants as they pass through the cabin. And don't forget to type your questions in the Q&A box. I think we have some questions. I got to put on my specs. I'm getting old, people. Okay. How often should you update your resume? You want to update your resume with each new position. You don't want to rely on your memory. So you want, as you move from one position, even within a company, if it's a promotion, you definitely want to update it then. You also want to update it, just refresh it every year or so, because you're learning new things. You've accomplished new things. I recommend that you keep a file of what I'd like to call accolades. You'll get emails from supervisors and from managers saying, good job, well done. That kind of thing. You want to keep it so that you can refer to it as you update your resume. So next question. What are some jargon that should not be used in your resume? This question actually is I've had this question before, and I thought it would come back up again since I mentioned it. So I wrote some down. This is what not to use in your resume, people. Thinking outside the box. If you put thinking outside the box on your resume, guess what? That's inside the box thinking, not original. Synergy, leverage. No, just no. Just no, don't do it. Moved the needle. I don't want to know that you moved the needle. I want to know how much the needle was moved. I want data. I want statistics. I want to know you went from 25% conversion rate to 28% conversion rate over a 6-month time period utilizing X, Y, and Z. That's what I want to know. We moved the needle on our project. Tells me absolutely nothing except that you don't want to work here at McKinney. Critical mass. Again, that tells me nothing. Critical mass at Thanksgiving dinner could be 6 people. Critical mass at a promotion for a client could be 600 people. Critical mass tells me nothing, people. I don't even know what this word means, but I have seen it on a resume. Dimensionalize. What the hell? Again, other words that mean nothing and that are jargon are desired outcomes. Okay, you met the desired outcomes. Well, what were the desired outcomes? Did you meet them, surpass them, and by how much, over what period of time? Did you stay within budget while you did it? If by how much? Did you go over budget? Is there a reason why? I need the numbers, people. Okay, Ron is giving me the signal we're out of time. Sorry, folks, but I am going to do, can we do one more question, Ron? Okay, Ron gave me the signal. We can do one more question. Find me a good one, because there are a lot of questions here. Ron? Oh, okay, here we go. Similar. I was advised to take words like innovative, creative, and effective out of my resume. Can you explain? They're overused. Everyone is innovative now. Everyone is creative. I mean, to use creative is not creative. I don't know that you are. I don't want to know that you are creative. I want to know what you created. To say you're creative is to assume that everyone else isn't. And we all are, just in different ways. So again, don't describe what you did. Tell me what you did. Go for it. Put it out there. You got to sell yourself. And remember, it's going to be less than a minute. So you got to put it out there hard and fast and be like, yeah, I'm that biatch. You want to hire me. Okay, folks? Great. So again, I'm Shannon Mouton Gray for McKinney Associates. You can find us online on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and SlideShare. You can also check out our website, mckpr.com, and you can sign up for our newsletter, which only comes out once a month. Until then, I will see you around the interwebs. Oh, and by the way, we will be continuing to do Tips in 20 in 2016. Oh, the one in January, 7 lessons I learned from Christmas vacation. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So everyone have a great holiday season. See you next year.